Assalamu alaikum, wassalamu alaikum. I bring you greetings, brothers and sisters, from wherever you are watching us from. So I send you greeting and I send you the peace of the Lord to be with you. Shalom. My name is Samba Alieu Bah, and I'm a Gambian and Fulani. I'm going to speak to you about the West Africa Fulani Christian Network, and on the text it has a plus, which also indicate about other MBBs. So this is focusing more on Muslim background believers, and specifically the Fulanis in the West African region. The reason why, as the Lord have given this burden not only to me but also to many other Fulani Muslim background believers who were Muslim before and came to the Lord Jesus, is to have this network and also be able to share our core values and our cultures, and especially in the way of Christ. And so why the network? The network is also will be driven towards a common word that we have been hearing so many times and in so many contexts, which is called the Ummah, which is mostly used in the Islamic context, which is the Ummah of Islamiyah. But also we want to see that we have the Ummah of the MBBs, the Muslim background believers in the sub-region and beyond. And so the vision and the mission behind it is just to see how we are able to network, how we are able to bring Fulanis in the national level, and where they were able to stand for each other, where they were able to support each other, where they were able to know who is where, and if I come into any situation, where can I go to? Who can I call for help? Who can I visit? Who can I support in one way or the other? Because the reason why this is so important for me and for many other leaders actually is one, Islam have taken a lot of advantage of persecuting people that are coming out of it for this simple reason, because they disconnect you from the existing society. And so we felt it's high time we create the society of the Muslim background believers. Especially we want to speak more focus on the Fulanis. And the reason why, because in our culture, in our context, especially in West Africa, we are very interdependent in everything of our life. We are dependent of any kind of thing that we have. I will give you an example. For example, in a society where we live as Fulanis here in Gambia or in Senegal or in Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, you go to Mauritania, you go to Burkina, you go to Mali, most of these and beyond in the continent, people depend on each other a lot. People are depending on each other when it comes to marriage ceremonies, when it comes to naming ceremonies, when it comes to funerals, when it comes to any kind of event that is more significant even in a society. People really depend on each other. And mostly this is where people, where Muslims wait for converts to be able to give them persecution, to be able to shame them. As you also know, I want to bring that element of the shame and honor culture we are in later before I end this video. But this is the reason why we say it's high time, and I felt God is calling us to come together, to network, to know who is where, to support one another. Because we have seen a number of times where people come to Christ and they stand firm. They are very strong in their faith, but then they feel so much isolated from everything, because the churches don't really fill the gaps that are lacking, that are realized in this life of these MBBs. So as I said, churches don't fill the gap that is realized by these MBBs, that is, as Muslim background believers. People can go to church and worship and go to Bible study, but there are some social life that you need to live that mostly is not being felt by some of the churches, sadly. And and in that, we need to fill that gap as Fulanis. We need to fill that gap as Muslim background believers. And as we fill it, then we are driving ourselves to be a community of believers, to be a family, to be that ummah. Because the word ummah is taken from the Arabic word which means mother. Like we are siblings from the same mother, where we care for each other, where when somebody has a challenge, we stand with them. Where when somebody has a joy, we come and celebrate with them. Where when somebody has an issue that needs to be solved, we put our hands together and resources to solve that. So this is the main reason behind this network. And we want to do that in a national level where people will be able to know who is where, in which region that I can find who, in my own area, if I'm in the city, who is around me, if I'm in the village, who is around me. And so that is why we say it is very important, because I've seen so many number of MBBs where they have a lot of challenges in this social event, where they want to get married as young men or young women, and they have nobody to take the lead to the lady or to the family of the woman they want to get married to. And in our context, you have to have somebody as a family member who will take the lead, as an uncle, as a father, as an elder brother, or as an auntie. So if that is not there, it's always a challenge. That's why they have the saying: before you look for a wife, you need to look for an in-law first. So these are important. And in naming ceremonies, I have seen where Muslim background believers, Fulanis, call for a naming ceremony in a village because they got converted. They try everything to convince them. They couldn't, and they just allow them to live there. But when the child came and now they have to dedicate the child or name the child, all the elders in the village say, we are not coming. They refuse to come. You understand? So these are things that can be a big challenge, and that can even push the former Muslim to go back to Islam, because they cannot stand the isolation. They cannot stand this isolation that they face. You understand? So, and some people, because of marriage arrangements that have been very much common, and it's not possible for them to have that in the church, so they end up either getting married to a Muslim or they end up marrying a Muslim woman, and that is the end of the story. And I have also heard about a family where they become believers in the village, and they were very strong as a man and a woman, and the village did all they could do. They couldn't. One day, after many years, one day one of their child died in the early mornings, and the whole village said, well, this is a Christian family, it's a Christian child, we cannot touch a dead body of a Christian, so you have to find your own people to come and bury your child, and you cannot bury your child here. So this man was there the whole day. He couldn't go anywhere. At that time, there was no cell phones as today. At the end, before in the evening, the body began to get bad, and he has to surrender his life to Islam again. And then the Muslim community came and buried the child. So these are all things that we have experienced, we have seen, and in our societies, and Muslim MBBs have been pressed, not only Fulanis, but so many of them. So, and that's why we are calling each other. We are saying that we need to come together. We need to form this family in our national level, and we also need to form a larger family in a regional level. And in the regional level, we want to see whereby we can support each other, because so many of us are gifted in so many different things, so many talents, so many gifting. And so some of us are engaged in particular ministries that will be needed in other parts of the region. Some are doing Bible translation, some are doing teaching, some are doing discipleship, some are doing contextualization, some are doing housing of MBBs. So each one of us have something small going in their own small countries, and which will be able to benefit the other person somewhere else as well in the region. So this is the reason, and this is the mind, this is the vision behind the West Africa Fulani Christian Network, which is now forming its shape in across 7 countries in the sub-region, and it also have its leadership, which is now called the Council of Elders, the Fulani Christian Council of Elders, which is also have a representative from each of this nation that we mentioned in the sub-region. And in every nation, we are also trying to establish a network or an office that will be able to monitor, that will be able to work with the council, that will be able to find a way, how can we stand with them, how can we support them in anything that is coming. Because one of the things that is driving its force also is the jihadist attack, that is the unsettlement political wise in the region, and it is affecting so many people. And the Fulanis are some of the people that are mostly affected in this kind of violences and stuff like that. So this is the reason behind this network, and we are asking for your prayers, we are asking for your partnership, we are asking for your support to see that we're able to establish that. We're able to establish in our own way of discipleship, where we're able to disciple people that come from Islam, and they'll be able to know how to become Christian and remain to be Fulanis, remain to be impactful. How can they be back into their own villages? We cannot bring all the converts, all the believers into the city. Some of them need to remain there with their cattle, with their famine, with their farmland, and all this kind of thing. How can we disciple these people? How can we empower them? How can we see that, yes, they remain to be the light and salt among their own people? And we know we cannot do that alone. We don't have the capacity to do it alone, but we look for people and churches that are willing to pray with us, willing to support, willing to partner with us to be able to do this thing. So this is what I want to share with you. Thank you so much. May the Lord bless you. If you have any question that you would like to ask, there will be information details that will be provided that will be able to give you an access, or a contact person that will be able to give you more details on what we are talking about. The Lord bless you, and may His face shine upon you. Shalom.